everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your pretty much weekly baseball history podcast. We'll get back on our regular schedule soon here, but I'm one half of the show. My name is Jeff. Joining me, as always, fresh off of his second or third All-Star appearance. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's my co-host, Mark A. Johnston. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I had an amazing time yesterday, and it's baseball in full swing. I feel alive again.
Well, I was going to say, these are the two longest days in the baseball season. The 2 days after the All-Star game, just kind of waiting for Friday. Just waiting for those games to start again. But yeah, first of all, before we get too far in, I do want to mention we are going to get back on our regular schedule soon. I took some time off. Obviously, Mark was working the All-Star game. He was very busy here the last couple of days, so we're a little bit late. Also, our new Hardcastle and McCormick rewatch pod is taking up a bit of our time, so we're working on it. But yeah. All right, so this is going to be a little bit different episode. As I mentioned, Mark has been at the All-Star game this year, so he's got some stuff to talk about, including some stuff that he got to do that was kind of fun. But before we do that, let's get into our BP segment, which does have some All-Star stuff as well. So let's get right into it if you're ready to go, Mark.
I'm ready.
All right. So first of all, let's get some non-All-Star stuff out of the way here first. Yankees made a change over the All-Star break with their batting coach.
They did.
And did you see who they hired?
I did.
As their new batting coach? The mayor himself.
That's right.
Yeah, so Sean Casey is going to be leaving MLB Network to be the Yankees hitting coach. I mean, I guess if you're a baseball player, these things, you don't lose knowledge like I do. Like, you tell me something yesterday, I'm probably not going to remember it today, but
right.
You know, he's been sitting in the studio for a couple of years now, and the Yankees are like, hey, yeah, come on, and we're the Yankees, just be our batting coach.
Yeah, they probably heard some good analysis on television and thought, hey, this guy can help us.
Yeah, I actually watched a video of his doing some hitting stuff with Jeff Francoeur because I've been taking some lessons, some batting lessons to help me with my league. And so I was watching him and trying to incorporate some stuff. But he's been on the MLB Network since he retired in 2008. So, I mean, that's a long time that he is.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I don't know. Maybe he's giving lessons on the side. Maybe he's ready to go. Maybe he's been working with the Yankees. I mean, the MLB Network is in New York, so I don't know. Maybe he's been close to them.
I like the choice, though. I like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Some other non-All-Star related stuff before we get too far. New movie about the Negro Leagues. I think it's already out. I think it was in select theaters, and then it's going to be released, I think, digitally. I'm not exactly sure. It's called The League, not to be confused with the FX TV series The League, which is actually one of my favorites, despite the fact it centers around fantasy football, something I don't know anything about. This movie covers how the Negro Leagues were established, how they grew through not just good baseball, but also advertising and marketing during segregation. It also highlights some of the relationships that fans had with Negro League baseball and how it eventually helped to change society for the better until the last couple of years, arguably. But it also talks about how black players helped with the game's growth in Japan in the 1920s when they were touring through Asia. So I'm excited for that. I'm not exactly sure where you can find this, but just keep an eye out for it. We'll probably mention it again here when we figure it out, but it's called The League.
Sounds fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. Major League Cricket is starting here in the United States, Mark. I'm very excited.
No way. I did not know that.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you better get on board because the Seattle Orcas are right in the thick of it.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
The season is about to get underway. It is really just a tournament here this first season, and it is all taking place in Texas. So if you're not in Texas, you're kind of out of luck in terms of Major League Cricket. It's all going to be being played at an old baseball stadium that they've converted into a cricket ground. There are 6 teams in this inaugural season. There are the aforementioned Seattle Orcas. I get the name, okay? The San Francisco Unicorns, which, I get it.
That's interesting.
I get it. It's San Francisco is known for certain groups of people. I get it. I understand it. I'm not sure about the merch. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a home game because I will be going to this. The Washington Freedom, kind of lazy on that name. Mm-hmm, yeah. The Los Angeles Knight Riders.
Okay.
Cool. You thinking Kit, right?
Yeah.
But actually, this is named after my favorite team in the Indian Premier League, the Calcutta Knight Riders.
Oh, okay.
So it's, maybe Hasselhoff shows up. Maybe they do a cross promotion. I would hope they would, actually. That's a good, even though that's not what this is named after, it's a good cross promotion there. The MI New York, which literally means the Mumbai Indians New York.
Oh.
And that is Indians, not as in indigenous people, but literally people from India. Yeah, that is the name of one of the team from Mumbai in the Indian Premier League is called the Mumbai Indians. So I guess they are partnering with this team and came up with a really crappy name for them.
Nice. Yeah.
And then finally, the Texas Super Kings. They have one of the guys that I really like on that team. They have Dwayne Bravo. I believe he's from the West Indies, and if I could best describe him, he is a mixture of David Ortiz and Fernando Tatis Jr.
Wow.
First of all, he's a mountain of a man. That's where I get the David Ortiz. He has got the beard. He wears a lot of jewelry when he is playing, and he is so macho.
Uh-oh.
It's so macho that when he is batting, he does not wear a helmet.
Ooh,
because he wants to show off all that bling. But he's a big guy. He's kind of a three true outcomes kind of guy for cricket, right?
Yes.
He either hits a six, or he's gonna probably swing and miss or pop up. But I am very excited about Major League Cricket. I mean, if you've listened to this podcast before, I'm a big cricket fan. So very excited about that.
Now, those of us that don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of cricket, what would be a suggestion to learn to understand the game?
I don't know. Watch it.
Watch it and take notes.
That's how I learned it. I watched it.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube. I'm sure there are plenty of explainers. Google it. There are plenty of explainers. I don't know everything about it. Every way that they bowl the ball, they throw it in different ways and it lands in different spots in the pitch before, where it bounces and then the batter will swing the bat at it. Those are all called different things. That's where you get the googly and some of those weird names. I don't know all that. The positions, off leg, off stump, all that stuff. No idea what it means. But okay. I know how you score. I know how you get people out. I know, like 80% of it. I can watch and fully understand what's going on. I just don't know all the strategy. So
gotcha.
Very excited about that. Let's get into a couple of All-Star things before we get to your experience at the All-Star, just some BP-related All-Star stuff. First of all, the draft was held. The Major League Baseball draft was held there in Seattle during the All-Star break. Couple of familiar names were drafted. First of all, Kyle Karros out of UCLA was drafted in the 5th round. He, as you can probably guess, is the son of Eric Karros.
Yes.
National League Rookie of the Year in 1992 with the Dodgers. Played most of his career with the Dodgers, right? But didn't he end up in Chicago with the White Sox or somebody as well? I don't remember exactly where he was, but
something like that. I mean, I'm sure we can probably find out.
I mean, this kind of stuff is helpful when you're doing the Immaculate Grid. Let's see. He came up with the Dodgers. Oh, and then he ended up with the Cubs for 1 year before, of course, doing as all players do, finishing with one partial season with the A's.
Yes.
Good for him, though. His son has been drafted. Also, this is a guy who I watched several times this year while I was watching college baseball. Homer Bush Jr. You'll never guess who his father is, first of all.
Homer Bush Jr.
Tony Womack.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Homer Bush Jr., he was taken in the 4th round by San Diego. Of course, Homer Bush had a career with the Yankees, the Blue Jays. He was part of that deal with Toronto that sent Roger Clemens to New York.
Oh.
But he was from Grand Canyon University there in Phoenix. I watched them because they're a real good baseball team. So I'd watch quite a bit of them during college baseball season. Some other things. Let's get to the home run derby. So the father-son home run derby championship seal has been broken. It's finally been done. 16 years apart, but of course Vlad Jr. won the crown this year. He was 8 years old when Senior won the title in the All-Star game that was at, what is it now? Pac Bell Park, I think, when when it was there. But in San Francisco, I don't think this is going to be replicated for a long time.
No, you're probably right there.
Were the fielders both in one? Cecil and Prince, were they both in one? Not together, obviously. But
no, I don't know.
I'm sure somebody will tell us one way or the other. It seems like they probably were. But yeah, I think that's going to be a tough one to... I mean, we've had 3 father-sons play at the same time, I believe, right? The Griffeys, the Rains, and then... George Diggins, wasn't it? We did an episode on them like a month or so ago. Yeah. So, and I think there actually might have been 1 or 2 more, but I don't see this happening for at least another 16 years.
No, you're right there.
One thing I thought was pretty cool during the All-Star Home Run Derby was, players use custom bats during the Derby. I think that's great. It's like they, when players get to wear custom shoes, I like it. They get to express their personality. But I noticed that there was a lot of players that looked like they were using their gamers. I thought that was pretty cool, to be honest.
Absolutely.
When I'm playing MLB The Show, I never use those bats with all the stupid pictures on them because I want to look like a baseball player. When you go up there swinging like a candy can, great, go for it. Express yourself. But I just like the look of a regular bat. That was something I took away from that. But,
yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool too.
How about Adley Rutschman? He didn't get out of that first round, but how just badass was it for him to, in the middle of his round, say, hey, you know what? I've seen enough batting left-handed. I'm going to now smash some dongs from the right side.
That was cool.
That was so cool. I love that. And his dad was throwing to him, and he just had his reading glasses on the back of his jersey. I mean, he just needed some old school New Balance tennis shoes and some cargo pants, and he would have been full dad mode.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was fun to watch Adley, this new young star out there, and when he switched sides, I was like, oh yeah,
that
I like it.
Pretty cool, yeah. So let me get your opinion on this. I think where my opinion is going to land as soon as I tell you this. What did you think of the All-Star Game jerseys?
I rather liked them. Now I know where you're going to go with this.
It's like Nike and MLB had a meeting, scheduled it, flew in from the 4 corners of the globe. And they're like, all right, let's take the absolute worst aspects of the City Connect jerseys, which are already garbage, and let's put them all together into an all-star jersey so that we don't show fans the players wearing the jerseys of their own teams.
Right. That was the plan.
Oh, you were in that meeting and you didn't tell me? Come on.
You didn't know that? I honestly thought you dialed in.
No, so come on. I mean, baseball jerseys, I don't know if I'm just in the minority here. I think they are I think they are the coolest jerseys in sports.
I agree with you.
Go look in my closet. I probably have 25 plus jerseys, and they're not all A's jerseys either. I love baseball jerseys. I love the way they look. I love the way you wear them. They're just cool. And to not have players go up there in their own uniforms is disturbing to me. Plus just the fact I don't like black pants on baseball players. It looks like they're playing softball. And then this sea foam or whatever it was that I assume was supposed to represent the ocean or the bay, hated it.
So you're saying you were kind of ambivalent about the uniforms? Yeah,
I was just neither one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah. So okay.
Well, that's the beauty of having your own show. You can just express that opinion, and no one's going to do anything.
Well, I mean, they could turn it off, but we all know that we're hard to quit. We're hard to quit.
That's right. If only the females thought that way. If only.
Yeah. Don't bring that up to my wife. She's none the wiser yet. All right. I did actually forget a couple of things non-All-Star related, and then we'll get to debuts. And then, Mark, we're just going to talk about what you did at the All-Star game. Some other things that I forgot to mention. Somebody did something last week that was the first time it had been done in 100 years since Cletus Bonesaw McGillicuddy, and it wasn't Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Let me in on this.
Yeah. I mean, he probably did something that hadn't been done in 100 years as well. But this time, I'm, of course, talking about Elly De la Cruz. Stole 3 bases on 2 pitches.
Yes.
I mean, he was the first player in over 100 years to steal second, third, and home in the same inning. But he did it on 2 pitches.
Completely amazing.
And you know what? I was watching this game live because I am really enjoying him. But Joey Votto is back and mashing. Yeah. And that team, the Reds are in first place. They're a lot of fun right now, too. I will say their broadcasts are not very fun, but the team is really fun to watch. You know, of course, I love the stolen bases and I love Joey Votto. So it's kind of a win-win for me. But that was incredible. I mean, he stole second easily. Then off to third he went. Gets up off of third, throw the ball back to the pitcher. He turns his back and Elly just takes off. It was great. I love it.
Yeah, pretty impressive. He is fun to watch.
And he's like 8'9".
I know. He's just dynamic.
And he can play, you know, in a bunch of different... He's so versatile. It's just, I just love watching him. He's a lot of fun. I'm really interested to see, you know, every couple of years we get a player like this that half a season is just incredible. And then, you know, the league catches up to him and let's see, you know, I hope he can keep doing this, but let's see. I think he's definitely a better hitter and gets on base a lot more than, you know, Billy Hamilton has ever been able to do.
Yes.
But I mean, Julio Rodriguez, he's definitely taken a step back. You know, Juan Soto is not as exciting as I think he used to be. We'll see about Fernando Tatis Jr. now that he's served his suspension and he's back. He looks like he's kind of getting back to where he was before too. So I'm interested to see, but I really enjoy him.
Yeah, a lot of young talent, and I think I see a couple sophomore slumps out there.
What was the Mariners center fielder before Julio that also won the Rookie of the Year?
Kyle Lewis.
Kyle Lewis. Yeah, I mean, he's in Arizona. I don't know if he's doing well or not. I never hear his name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never hear it either.
I was watching some NPB this week, and I found an English broadcast, and I had to write this quote down as soon as I heard it. This was the quote I got from the English announcer about a player. He said, quote, "He's been so good after his move out of Nippon Ham." End quotes. So see, there's a reason why we call them the Ham Fighters when referring to the team, as opposed to, you know, we know that it's Nippon Ham is the sponsor and Fighters is the nickname, but we're infinitely amused by calling them the Ham Fighters.
Can't help it.
You know, just referring to the team as Nippon Ham is so strange to me.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the league, it would be like the Buffaloes today are traveling to Nippon Ham. I mean, that doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
Why would they be at Nippon Ham versus at the ballpark as well? I mean, that doesn't make sense. But it's like if we referred to teams by the sponsor on their sleeves and their nickname. So it would be the Kroger Reds or the Motorola Padres or even the newly minted out of the All-Star break Star Insurance Yankees. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No, not really.
That was a great quote. Because after his move out of Nippon Ham.
Yes, that is classic. I did figure out where Kyle Lewis is.
Is he in Arizona still?
He's playing in Reno.
Oh, okay. I assume that's the Diamondbacks AAA club then.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Injury rehab or just not?
No, it doesn't say. He was struggling pretty good, though. Just looking at his stats before he got sent down.
All right. Well, good luck to Kyle Lewis.
Absolutely.
He's still young. Let's see. So this show is meant to debut on July 12th. We're recording it on July 12th. I can't promise it'll get out on July 12th, But I want to talk about a couple of debuts here that happened sometime throughout baseball history today on July 12th. First of all, in 1890, unknown Lewis. Speaking of Lewises, maybe he's related to Kyle Lewis. I don't know. 1890, though, unknown Lewis played one game. That's it. Congrats. How about 1911? Stubby Manger made his debut.
Big Stubby Manger fan.
I know you've got that one of one Stubby Manger autographed.
I do.
I think it's a relic too. I think it's got like as part of his fingernail on it or something.
It's got a bloody flannel.
Yeah. Well, he only played for 1 year. He was 23 years old. He played on the New York Highlanders, though. Let's see. He hit .212 and didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Thusly, why he only played for 1 year. But still, I mean, you're on the Highlanders, so you got that going for you. 1914, Steamboat Williams.
Steamboat Willie?
Well, see, now hold up. We want to be careful. We don't want Disney to sue us.
Oh, right.
I was a little worried that they might have already gotten to Steamboat Williams. Steamboat played for 2 years for the Cardinals in 1914 and 1916. He was a pitcher. Didn't do much. It's kind of the theme here when we go for these kind of names. These names you'll know. 1973, Dave Parker, the Cobra, made his debut.
Very nice.
We just didn't we just do an episode on Dave Parker a little while ago? Yeah, show 202. This is that's 17 episodes ago.
Not that far back.
Also, not also, but in 1987, Walt Weiss made his debut.
Oh, very good.
Walt Weiss, whenever I'm playing Immaculate Inning, I try to shoehorn him in there. Like I think he only played for 3 teams, the A's, the Rockies, and the Marlins.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But he played for Atlanta. Definitely played for Atlanta too. But I try and shoehorn him in there every day. First thing I look for is, can I put Ricky Henderson in there?
Sure.
But yeah, he played for 4 teams: the A's, the Marlins, the Rockies, and Atlanta. So we got that. And then in 1991, Scott Service made his debut.
Well, how about that?
Just mention that when a current manager is there. Also, speaking of past episodes, today in 1979, Disco Demolition Night at Old Comiskey Park. So there's another old episode. I mean, when you're in the 220-ish episode of a podcast, you can, most of the things we talk about, you can go reference in older ones. But that was an interesting one. We learned some stuff about that. All that happened today. Well, not today, if I don't get this out by today, but all of that happened at some point in the baseball expanded universe on July 12th.
There you go.
All right, Mark, let's let the grounds crew come out. We got to get all these people off the field. That's one thing I always marvel at during All-Star games or playoffs, and especially the World Series. Before you start the game, just the sheer number of people that are on the field.
Oh, man, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm looking down there from the control room, and I'm just like, who are these people?
Yeah.
There's just like half the crowd is down there.
Everywhere. DJ Irie, though, is up in the stands. So we don't need, he can stay there. But all right, Mark, let's talk about it. Your All-Star game. This was your third, right?
It was my second to work, my third to attend. Yes.
And all of them have been in Seattle. First of all, before we get too much into it, rank them for us. How do you go your favorite, second favorite, third favorite out of those 3?
My favorite would be 79 because Nolan Ryan threw 2 innings.
And Dave Parker made that throw
Dave
from
Parker
Ryan.
with the throw. Yep. And it's funny because you never know with my memory. I either remember really minute details or I don't recall anything at all. And I remember that All-Star game like it was yesterday. It was the most amazing time. It was me, my dad, and my Uncle Don, and we're sitting on the 200 level and just got to see all these icons that I look back now and go, man, I can't believe I got to see those guys play.
Great. All right. So that's up at the top spot. Then you've got this year's, but then you have the last one where that was Cal Ripken's kind of farewell. You had Tommy Lasorda taking a tumble in the third
down. Yeah. And Barry Bonds trying to put catcher's equipment on him. And the other thing about that game is I believe there were 7 or 8 Mariners that were selected to that 2001 All-Star game. And I'd have to put that as number 2.
Okay.
It's because 01 was a magical year for the Mariners. It really was.
Until the playoffs. I mean,
Well, yeah, if you want to think about that sort of thing. If the whole World Series thing is your goal, well, maybe it wasn't the greatest, but, we won a lot of games that year. And then this year, it still hasn't kind of settled in. I had some great highlights. Probably worked harder than I did at any of the other ones.
If Julio hits a home run in that final at bat, then maybe it
becomes like legendary at that point.
Yeah. All right. So I know you've got a couple of things that you got to do that not everybody gets to do, as if they were just a fan attending this. So you were there. Let's see. You were probably there, at least part of the HBCU game, the Futures game, the Celebrity game, the Derby, and then the actual game. So walk us through your week and tell us some of the highlights.
Yeah, no, I was there for it was the high school game.
Yep.
And I worked that game, and then I was at the HBCU game. For those of you that listen, normally you've heard of Mitch. Mitch worked the HBCU game. He's my the other half of the tandem of running the.
He's the other half with less hair but better hair.
Well, I don't know if I go.
Well, I mean, he paid a lot for it, so let's.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He and you know what? It looks real, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about that spray on hair, it looks real sometimes.
Yeah, no, he does well with that. Yeah. But so I got to work that. Here's an interesting, fun little thing that happened at the high school game. About a fourth inning, they're playing 7. About the fourth inning, one of the teams decides, we're going to bat 11 players now.
Been there, done that. Yep.
Yeah, and that doesn't work with our software at all. And I put in the batters as they came up, but I can't increase it to 11, not mid-game especially.
Wait, you're telling me this one doesn't go to 11?
No, this does not go to 11. No, the software doesn't go to 11, and so I'm 2 batters behind every pitch, but we're putting up the headshot of the current batter. And it was just like, you guys, really, you're just going to change the rules and make them non-baseball rules right in the middle of a game? Give me a break. Well, it was pretty brutal.
My comment would have been at the time, just wait till you get to the celebrity softball game.
Yeah, well, because I didn't have the enjoyment of that.
Oh, well, I remember working one of those, and one of the celebrities left in the middle, but didn't tell anybody.
Well, that's nice. These celebrities like you and me, we all got these egos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of leading up. And then yesterday, the game, they wanted us up there bright and early. So we had an 8:30 call time and showed up, and Mitch and I carpooled because, we're like that. We're cool like that. We only wanted to use one parking spot. So we go in, and immediately our supervisor says, hey, go down to the field and find this person and tell them that you're available. And we're like, okay. What are we doing? We normally just press buttons. And so we go down, we get on the field. We're on the field. We're like, hey, we're on the field before the All-Star game. That's kind of cool. And not knowing what's to come. And we find the person we're supposed to find. They say, oh, okay, yeah, you guys, you're going to be on the National League. And we're like, what are we doing? Well, what they were doing is they were testing how everybody runs in from the outfield down the red carpet or magenta carpet, whatever we had. So they said, they assigned us each a player. And I, of course, got Josiah Gray of the Nationals. So I was the last reserve to run.
Who the heck else would you have been?
Who would you think?
Does he have good hair? I know who Josiah Gray is, but I don't believe he has a lot of hair.
No, we have one little difference between us, but
that one you have more than one. The hair being one, but then there's another major one. Like if Charlie Blackmon would have been there from the Rockies, you would have been. And they wouldn't have given you Charlie Blackmon, I would have written a letter.
Don't push Jeff to the letter. No. You don't want that.
I would have needed to speak to a manager immediately.
So we're all standing out on the warning track, and they're putting us in order, the order that the players are going to run out. We're kind of taking pictures and just kind of goofing off and reminding each other that we're getting paid to do this. And so then we go back. They take us back behind the fence. And they've got the whole intro thing set up, this gate type thing. And they're spraying the smoke effects, as you run out. And we're all standing in line, and I'm the last one in line because the reserves all go run out on the field before the starters do. And I'm standing there, and Mitch is right in front of me. And Mitch was Alex Cobb, by the way.
The Giants, right?
Yes. And it finally gets out there, and they're like, okay, they're sending two of you at the same time, but Mark, you got to run on your own. And I'm like, of course, I wouldn't have done it any other way. I would have refused, So they get, and they're like, hey, introducing Josiah Gray. And I get to go running out of this gate through the smoke onto the carpet, high-fiving all these kids as I run down, sprint. Well, for me, it's a sprint, jog all the way down between third and second base and stand there in the line and wave to the crowd. It was, except there was no crowd. But other than that, it was, really cool. And we got to do that twice. It was super awesome.
Oh, I mean, you sent me a picture of the entrance, and I'm not going to lie, I was impressed that you could run that long.
Well, believe me, I had a heart attack or two on the way.
Oh, and you didn't trip on the carpet either. I mean, this was a banner day for you physically.
It was. And if you don't think I thought about tripping on the carpet on purpose, you don't know me very well.
I
didn't.
I get upset when we in my baseball league if our dugout is on the opposite side of the field wherever I'm playing that day. Like if I'm playing third, I want to be in that third base dugout because I don't want to have to keep running that far away. But congratulations to you.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't stumble, fall, hit my face, or say anything really stupid. So it was
you saved that for
this.
You saved that for the podcast. I see.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, it was really cool to get to do something like that. And when it was over, the Mariners gave Mitch and I each this cool little participation pin. It's like a silver, and it has a spinning compass on it, and it's pretty neat.
Oh, is it kind of like the necklace that Vladdy got for winning the home run?
Very similar, a little smaller.
Yeah. Okay, but this is what we're gonna do. We're going to take that pin and we are going to attach it to a outrageously oversized gold chain. And that is going to be our new Wax Packs Heroes title.
That sounds good to me, man.
All right.
So, it was super busy, but it was still fun. And I think my favorite moment was the Seattle crowd chanting at Ohtani's at bat, "Come to Seattle, come to Seattle."
Yep, that was picked up. Now, that was heard, and it was even mentioned on the broadcast. The thing MLB made sure to cut away from was when the crowd, not all of them, but some people from Oakland did their duty, and they went down there. And there was a chant of "Sell the team" that was distinctly lacking in the broadcast. They made sure to.
That's too bad. Yeah, we did get that note. This is not an official note. This is not Mariners capacity, by the way. It was just something I got on text about standing in the fifth inning and chanting "Sell the team." Mm-hmm. I was too busy to pay attention to it. My apologies.
Well, somebody was definitely missing from the All-Star game this year. Stomper. Not there. The A's mascot.
Oh, wow.
The usual team picture of all the mascots, they are all there except for one.
Really?
Dragon A's fans more. Just,
unbelievable. Come on, MLB.
Yeah, as much as Rob Manfred did with the pitch timer and some of these rules that I think have really improved the game, I hate the man with a passion. I hate the man with a passion.
Well, he listens to the show, too, so you can tell him what you think.
F you, Rob Manfred. All right. So what was the highlight of the All-Star? Was it the game itself? Was it did you do the celebrity game? What?
I think my highlight was getting to actually run out to cheers and high fives. Personal highlight in the game. Like I said, I really liked when they chanted "Come to Seattle" to Ohtani. Some good ball players and some really good plays in the outfield, too, that I enjoyed.
Oh, I know. Those first two at bats, it's like, where's this game going to go after two hits, possible home runs are robbed in right and left? That was
what
cool.
A great start. Yeah, you couldn't have done much better than that.
All right. Well, congratulations, Mark. That's three All-Star games.
It was awesome and an amazing experience. And thanks to the Mariners for giving me a chance to do that. And they really ran a great game. I thought things went smooth, and I thought the show was great.
Well, good. I admit I did not see all of it. Hulu is not my favorite, platform to watch live sports on. But I was in the kitchen making dinner, so I had no choice. So
what can you do?
I did not get to see all of it, but from what I saw, it looked like it was fun. All right. Well, I hope everybody else enjoyed it too, that watched it, that was there. I don't know, were any of our other listeners there? If you were, let us know. Otherwise, just let us know, hey, what did you think? How did it stack up? How awful were the uniforms? All that kind of stuff. But there we are. All-Star Game 2023. Put a bow on it. Excited for the second half.
Very, very much.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the main segment of the show. This is normally the portion where we go and we listen to some really cool music, and that music tells us that it's time for Wax Packs Heroes. But we're going to do something a little bit different because it's the All-Star Game. We're gonna mix it up a little bit today. We're not going to do second best. We're not going to do Wax Packs Heroes. We're going to do a little thing here. We're going to do our own version of the Immaculate Inning. We're going to do it live and see what we can come up with. We are not going to cheat. We're not going to be using the computer until we're absolutely done, and then we'll check it to make sure that we're good. We're not going to do any counting stats. All I've done is I've put all the team names into a list randomizer. I actually put 31 in there. I've got the Nationals, but I've also got the Expos.
Good.
Kind of switch those up. So if the Expos comes up, it's got to be somebody that played with the Expos. So we're going to do this. If you don't know how to play this game, go listen to last week's show, or just go and Google Immaculate Inning. We had a lot of listeners after last week's show reply to us how, one, if they already had been playing, how they're obsessed like I am, or two, thanking us for pointing it out, because it is just so up our alley.
It's perfect. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So my average is 8. I probably get all 9 2 or 3 times a week, but I usually miss one, and it's usually in those darn counting stats. I'm no good at them, and I also cannot remember pitchers' names.
Okay.
But I also go for the, I used Rick's shoe this last week. I like to go for those get that score. They give you a score as to how, common your answers were. I like to get those.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the coolest thing about it. It's like, hey, nobody else said that? Jeez.
Yeah, well, one time, on one of them, and it might have been Rick's shoe, I got a 0.00. It was correct, but apparently I was the only person that answered Rick's shoe, so I was pretty proud of that. But keep sending us. We've got a couple of listeners that have been sending us their results. Feel free to, man. We're on probably Facebook, or Threads is probably the best way to reach us right now. But if you want to send us your results or whatever, feel free to, if you're proud of your grid that day. So, all right, I've thrown this into the randomizer. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hit this button. And we're just going to take how about we do this? The top 3, the teams that come in 1, 2, 3, they're going to be the 3 teams along the top. And then the bottom 3 teams will be the ones along the side.
Okay.
And then from there, we'll work this out in real time. All right. So I'm going to hit the button here. Okay. So along the top, it's kind of National League centric here. The first team is going to be the Nationals, not the Expos, but the Nationals. Then the Giants, and then the Pirates. So those are our 3 teams along the top. The bottom 3 teams here that are going to be along the side, we've got the White Sox, the Astros, and the Rays. So we're going National League up top, American League down the side. So again, if you're not familiar with this, we need to come up with a player that played on both teams where they meet on this grid. And you only get 9 shots, 9 guesses. So if you miss one, you're not going to get the Immaculate Inning. But now I have a problem whenever an expansion team comes up. because I either remember their initial roster of the first year they were in the league or their current roster. The stuff in between always gets a little bit fuzzy for me, but I'm going to leave the Astros. You're going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting on the Astros.
Yeah, I should be okay on that one.
Okay, and pitching and Latin names, especially Latin pitchers, I cannot remember. You know, we can throw Edwin Jackson in several of these probably. You can only use a player once, and unfortunately, Ricky was not on any of these teams.
Wow, and he was on almost every team.
Yeah, now I do see one that I believe we can knock right off. The Astros and the Giants. How about Kenny Lofton?
Sure. I was going to say Steve Finley.
Oh, I used him this last week, but I'm pretty sure now Kenny Lofton was on the Giants, right? Or maybe let's go with Finley. Let's play it safe.
He played 1 year on the Giants.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Kenny was, we're playing it safe. We're going to go with Steve Finley there. What about the Astros and the Pirates?
Thinking here.
So what I do here is I just start naming random players from one of these teams. And then, so let's just name random Astros players and see if we can find someone that's been on the Nats or the Giants. So since it's the Nats, we need it to be somewhat, in the last decade and a half or whenever they moved from Montreal to Washington. Okay. So,
did Derek Bell play for the Nats?
I have no idea.
Or it would have been Expos, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think he did.
That wouldn't count. Geez, this is a tough one. Oh, okay. Look, Moises Alou was originally, he was drafted and started with the Pirates. And as you know, played for the Astros.
So he played games for the Bucks? Because I don't remember that.
He did before Montreal. I just remember a baseball card.
All right.
Something, a minor league card. I mean, we can check it out later. I may be wrong.
Okay, yeah, you've got to play a major league game for this.
Right, I got you.
All right, so we're going to put a Lou there for the Astros and the Pirates. How about the Astros and the Nats? Let's see. So Nelson Cruz played for the Nats. He didn't. Oh, Nelson Cruz played for the Rays, didn't he?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did last year at some point.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to put Nelson Cruz in the Nats and Rays box. So we've got for the Nats, we've got White Sox and Astros remaining. And this is where I'm sure there are a million relief pitchers that have done this crossover.
Yeah.
And I just can't remember them. And they might have only played for 2 years or something like that.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, you know who how about instead of Alou, how about Doug Drabeck? That's a for sure.
Oh, absolutely. There you go. In case I'm wrong.
Yeah, I literally have no recollection of Philippe Alou, Moises Alou playing for the Pirates, but I don't doubt you. But I know Drabeck. That's a given.
Okay.
Let's see. So we've got Astros and Nats.
I'm trying to think. Did Casey Kendall play for the Nats? No. Oh, again, that would have been the Expos.
Yeah, he definitely played for
franchise.
The Expos. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of Astros from like the '86 team that the Mets couldn't defeat, except for they got lucky in the playoffs. But nobody there is going to have played for the Nats.
Right? Yeah. God, I don't know.
Oh, well, Ivan Rodriguez played for the Nats, but he didn't play for the Astros nor the White Sox.
No.
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's just start. We don't have anybody in the White Sox list here. So we got White Sox that played for the Nats, Giants, or Pirates. Lance Johnson, the one dog.
One dog. Who I always remember.
I don't think he played for any of them. Don Paul. Oh, did Don Paul play for the Pirates?
Hey, wait. We've got White Sox and Giants, right?
Yeah, we've got that hole open.
You mentioned Kenny Lofton earlier, right?
Yeah. He
played for the White Sox for a short while, and I remember that because I wasn't real happy about it. And we know he played for the Giants.
All right. I, again, have no recollection of him playing for the White Sox, but I'm going to put that down there. Okay. All right. So we got 4, almost halfway through. We got White Sox, Nats, Astros, Nats, White Sox, Pirates, and then Rays, Giants, Rays, Pirates. Let's see. Did Bartolo? So Bartolo played for the Nats, and he played for the White Sox too, didn't he?
I believe so.
Oh wait, no. Bartolo played for the Expos, or did he? He played for the Expos, but did he play for the Nats too?
Good question.
I for some reason see him in a Nats jersey. We'll write it down. We're not going to lock it in just yet. I'm sure our listeners are yelling at us, but
yeah, I don't remember him as a national. That's a tough one though, because I know you're right. He was an Expo.
Tim Raines never played for the Nats, right? He played for the Expos, but he didn't, like, at the end of his career come back. And
no.
Chad Wallach? I think that was Expos. I got a lot of Expos.
Okay, so I thought of a Pirates Astros, but we already have one, right?
Yeah, we've got one, but who we got Doug Drabeck, but you have a better one?
Dale Berra. Well, I remember the baseball cards.
Boy, you want to put in a 0.01 answer. There you go. Dale Berra. Yeah.
So true. Yep.
Let's focus on the White Sox and Pirates, because that one should be relatively easy.
You would think.
Let's see. Steve Buechele. I don't think he was on the White Sox. Oh, I think I've got. We need to talk this out. White Sox Pirates. Bobby Bonilla.
Boom.
Because I believe we learned during Wax Packs Heroes at some point during this 4-year run that he came up with the White Sox. I'm fairly certain.
You are absolutely correct.
All right. Bam.
I remember talking about that. And I remember thinking that was weird because I had never heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Yeah, I am fairly certain that was the White Sox. And this is what I like to do. I like to put 80s and 90s players. That's basically what I go for. Unless I need to do an expansion team. All right, so we're at 5 locked in. 6, the Cologne for the Nats is still in question. So we still got Nats, Astros, and then Rays, Giants, and Rays, Pirates. Oh, Rays, Giants, Evan Longoria.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously that's a player that's still playing, but we're dealing with the Rays here, so I'm going to take it.
Absolutely.
So we've got Rays, Pirates, and Nats and Astros are our 2 that we don't have a name for yet.
I'm embarrassed that I haven't come up with a Nats Astros.
I'm a little embarrassed for you as well, but we'll still keep chugging along here. And if we can come up with another White Sox Nats, because I am not convinced that Bartolo Colon played for either of those teams at this point. This is the second guessing is what really gets you.
Maybe I brought this up earlier, but didn't Moises Alou play for the Nats? Like for a little while.
Again, I can picture him in a Nats jersey, but I can picture Bartolo Colon in a Nats jersey too, and I'm not sure about it.
But I think Alou's a good pick for that.
Okay, because we scribbled him out because we went with Drabeck for the Astros Pirates. So if we put Alou, all right. If I feel pretty confident with that. I think he was on the Nats.
I'm pretty sure. I'm a little bit of an Alou fan. So.
All right, let's lock that in. So we still got Rays, Pirates, and then we're still not sure Bartolo Colon for the White Sox and Nats.
Okay, so lefty reliever. And I remember he was on the Mariners, Matt Thornton, and I couldn't stand him because it was like he gave up 3 hits every time they brought him in. And they dealt him to the White Sox. And I'm sure he pitched for the White Sox in the majors. And then I saw him like a year or 2 later, and I remember thinking, oh, well, the White Sox didn't stick with him either. And I think he was on the Nationals.
You think? How strong are you?
I'm pretty sure. For some reason, it's a good memory. It's something that's a solid memory for me. I remember just for whatever reason thinking, oh, there he is. Huh? I guess the White Sox weren't as happy because there was an article about how happy the White Sox were about getting him. And I was like, I guess they weren't as happy as they thought they were gonna be.
Okay, so Matt Thornton, right?
Thornton.
Not Thornton. Thornton. All right, yes. So we're gonna scratch out Bartolo. We're gonna lock in
the
Matt
Mariners
Thornton.
Forever and was terrible.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're down to our final square, which is the Rays and the Pirates.
Oh God, that's a tough one. At least for me.
I've had stuck in my mind G-Man Choi. I know he's been on the Rays. I think he was until this year. I think he came up with the Pirates, or so. I can see him in a Pirates uniform.
Is he playing this year?
I don't know. I'm assuming he is. I don't know where he is. But I remember that the Rays like released him, I think, or something.
Well, yeah, I was okay. Just give me a second here. I was watching a Pirates game because of Brian Reynolds, and I thought there was a Choi on the team, and I think there's only one Choi, right?
I don't know.
Maybe on the Pirates right now.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, I can see him in a Pirates uniform. Whether it's just me imagining him or not, I don't know. But we're also getting to our self-imposed time limit here. So
yeah, let's go with Choi.
If we don't have a better option, we should just lock in G-Man Choi.
It just sounds right for some reason.
All right, we're gonna lock in G-Man Choi, and that has completed our immaculate inning here. So let's go through these now. And let's look. So we're going to start off in the top left. We're going to go Nats and White Sox. This was the other one that we had a lot of consternation about. And you came up with Matt Thornton.
Yes.
All right. Matt Thornton definitely on the White Sox and on the Nationals.
Okay.
White Sox 2006 through 2012. And the Nationals 2014 and 2015. So very nice. I would have never. Let's just for fun here. Did Bartolo was our other answer there. Let's see if he was on the Nats. He was. I mean, we knew he was on the Expos, but no, he was not on the Nats. Okay. So that's good. You saved us there. All right. Next we go White Sox Giants. We got Kenny Lofton. I don't remember him as a Giant per se, but I think we're pretty confident in that. Let's see. Kenny Lofton, San Francisco for 1 year, and the White Sox for 1 year. Boy, okay. Kenny Lofton played 10 years in Cleveland. Then he played for Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Texas, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees, Houston, and the White Sox for 1 season or less. For everything. A 17-year career where in Cleveland, 10 years, everywhere else, just a 1 season or part of 1 season. All right, so we're good there. Next, we got White Sox, Pirates, and Bobby Bonilla. Now, this is the one where we're pretty sure that Bonilla came up with the White Sox. And there it is, 1986. As a rookie, 75 games with the White Sox. He was traded that year, his rookie year, to the Bucks. But that doesn't matter. He appeared in a major league game for Chicago, the White Sox, and the Pirates. So we're good there. All right, next we go down to the Astros. This was your sweet spot. We've got the Astros and the Nats, and we came up with Moises Alou. And indeed, he did not play for the Washington Nationals.
No.
Okay. Played for the Mets, the Giants, the Cubs, the Astros, the Marlins, and then the Expos, and then he came up with Pittsburgh.
Wonder if I must have been thinking.
All right, so we missed out there. So we're down one.
My bad.
Next, we got Astros and Giants. We've got Steve Finley. I don't even need to look that one up, although I'm going to, just because we want to be correct. Steve Finley. Let's see, Astros and Giants. 1 year with San Francisco, and then 6 with the Diamondbacks. 4 with Houston. So that one's good. Next, we got Astros and Pirates. Doug Drabek. We know that one's correct. Then we've got Rays and Nats. We've got Nelson Cruz, which I'm pretty confident in this one. Nelson Cruz, Washington, and Tampa Bay. Yes, 1 year apiece. Next, we've got the Rays and the Giants. We went with Evan Longoria. I know that one is correct. And then our last one. This is the one that we had the most trouble with. The Rays and the Pirates. And we went with G-Man Choi. And you're right. G-Man Choi is with the Pirates right now.
I kind of thought that, but I wasn't positive, so I didn't want to sound like I knew what I was talking about.
He came up with the Angels in 2016. I would have never guessed. And then he went to the Yankees. I do not remember him on either of those teams. Then he went to Milwaukee before a 5-year stretch in Tampa. And then this year he is in Pittsburgh. But that one is good. So we got 8 out of 9. We got right on my average.
Okay.
So, well, I love this game. I really do. I'm not sure that it's going to replace Wax Packs Heroes because there's no real competition here. But maybe once in a while we'll throw this in. Hopefully some of you maybe paused this when we read the teams and filled it out. Curious to know how many you got, and could you beat our time?
Yeah.
We were milling about a lot of the time, remembering people in jerseys they never wore. But there you go. There is our Immaculate Inning. I think we still got all 3 outs. It's just there might have been a hit in there, in between.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We still did pretty well. All right. So that's going to start to wrap up the show. We appreciate it. Happy All-Star break to everybody, to those who celebrate. If you want more of us, you can find us on the internet. We're on social media pretty much everywhere at 2 Strike Noise. We are on Threads now in terms of social media. That will probably be where we get we're doing most of our posting there on Facebook. I'll still check the Bird app every now and then, but I avoid that now like the plague. And you can also find all the links down in the show notes as well as our email address. Mark?
You can just spell it out and you can write to us, 2 Strike Noise, no spaces, at gmail.com.
Now, I do want to mention when I was watching the All-Star game, they'd had I don't know if it was a blimp or a drone shot above the stadium. And it just happened to be when there were 2 strikes on the batter. And I saw on the big screen a 2 Strike Noise animation.
Nice. Yes.
So thank you very much, Seattle, for the little hat tip there to your favorite baseball history podcast.
That's right. We appreciate it, Mariners. That was really cool to do during the All-Star game.
Really, you can admit you reached over and pushed that button, I'm sure.
I did. No one saw me. They weren't paying attention. I said, this one says 2SN. I'm pressing it. So,
all right. So that'll do it for this week. Show 219 in the bag. We hope to see you next week when we do it all again on another episode of 2 Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.